So today's interview question is, how does garbage collector actually operates? And I would highly recommend to watch a brief video on it. Use of garbage collection. Garbage collection is used to clean all the objects that are not referenced. There's a very major misconception among people that it will clean all those objects which are not used anymore. That's very wrong. It cleans all those objects whose references are very weak, or I would say the objects are not very approachable. There's a GDC root scan that happens every time a garbage collector is about to clean something, right? So yeah, speaking high level, this is the major definition. And also say that a heap is basically divided into sub parts, where you can say that there's a young generation and then there is a old generation. In the young generation, we have Eden, we have S0, S1, and the old generation is as it is. Now what happens is, whenever an object is created, it firstly goes into the Eden subpart of the young generation, and in the younger generation we run a minor GC. A minor GC runs, it checks for those objects which have no reference, or they have weak reference or soft reference. I will tell you what are these. So it will check for those things and it will clean it up, and if something survives, it will go into the S0. And the same thing happens, minor GC runs, and if something survives, it will go into S1, and if something survives S1 also, it will go into the older generation. And in older generation we run a major GC, not a minor GC, we run a major GC, and the process goes on. The object will also have an age increment. It will promote every time it can prove its validity. So yeah, that is how actually the cleaning process happens. And that's the question, which was, what are weak references? At that point of time I didn't knew the answer, but here it is. We have 4 types of references. One is strong reference, which means that an object is approachable, it has a strong reference. Okay. Then we have weak reference, which means that we don't actually care if the object gets cleaned anytime by the garbage collector. We will use a weak reference. Next point is, what is soft reference? Soft reference basically means something that is of higher priority than a weak reference, but it will get cleaned if the memory is full. And then after that we have a phantom reference. This, if something is marked as a phantom reference, right, this means that it is already deleted. It is just for marking, because look, whenever we are freeing up resources, it's not like you only have to free the internal resources, the heap and all. There are external resources that needs to be freed as well, right? So to start the freeing process of external resources, we first have to make sure that the internal resources are freed completely, right? So for that, phantom reference is used. It basically gives a notification that yes, your internal references are free now. You can move ahead and go with the external reference free process. So that's it for today, guys. Let's meet tomorrow again at 6. Bye.